Hello and welcome. My name is Dagmar. I am a yoga teacher and a Kripalu trained mindful outdoor guide. And today is the second part of our 6-part investigation of inviting awe and wonder. So last week when we practiced awe and wonder, we ignited all our senses. And that is what opened the doorway to attention, kind of shifting us from being distracted to being present. And this week's focus is the mystery of the small. So awe really isn't always found in the vast mountains or the sweeping views. More often, it's really tucked inside the tiniest little details, like maybe the raindrop that is balancing on a leaf or just dripping off as you're watching, or the slow curve of a snail, or the patterns of the veins of a leaf. So the problem is that we rarely stop to look very closely because we're just too busy for that. But today we will. Let's begin with just taking a few rounds of breath, and that will help us get grounded in the moment. You can just simply breathe deeply with your belly expanding on the inhale and your shoulders dropping on the exhale, or you can join me for 5 rounds of the humming bee breath that, for ease of hand positioning, we can just use the ring finger or the thumb to close down the little half moon shaped part of your ear. You close that into itself and you take a big breath in through your nose. And as you exhale through your nose, your mouth, your lips are just gently sealed and you hum like that. You might even feel a little vibration between your lips if you don't clamp them down all the way. So we'll do it 5 times together, thinking of the sound a bee might make as it's collecting nectar. Let's take a big breath in together, close the ears. One more. When you feel complete, just listen to the silence. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to the ground or something that connects you to the ground, and just take a moment to check in with your internal weather. What's the emotional forecast right now? Are you feeling cloudy or bright, still, breezy, stormy, heavy, or clear? There's no right answer, just notice. Name it and accept exactly what is present right now. We'll check again at the end. And then feel the earth beneath you and let it support your body. It's totally okay to sit on a chair, but you are also welcome to sit on the ground itself, just as long as you can begin to soften into a feeling of stillness. As you're getting comfortable, finding just the right spot, UC Berkeley psychology professor Dr. Keltner, remember that book, Awe? He said, where do we find it? In response to that, I will call the 8 wonders of life, which include, he names them, in order the strength and courage and kindness of others. Remember the feeling that you feel when you look for the helpers. Number 2, collective movement in actions like dance and sports. Remember the feeling that you have when you see somebody dance in a way that you perhaps cannot dance yourself. That's just so gracious or athletic. Or the feats that some people are able to accomplish when they're at the top of their sports. The third one he names is nature. And that's what we tap in here today. The fourth one is music. Imagine the feeling that you have when you listen to the symphony. Art and visual design is the next one. Sometimes we see something that is just so beautiful. Mystical encounters, encountering life and death. And the eighth is big ideas or epiphanies. These wonders are all around us. If we only pause for a moment and open our minds, there are so many opportunities to everyday awe. So let's start today with a natural curiosity of a child. In yoga, we call it the beginner's mind. And we'll go on a short exploration today of zooming in. So slowly look around your sit spot and choose one small thing to focus on, something that is easily overlooked. It could be a blade of grass, a fallen leaf, a patch of moss, a stone, an ant, or a flower. Something tiny. And then get close to it. If you're already sitting on the grass, you could maybe even lie down on the grass, belly down. Get really close. Bring your full attention to it. No need to explain it. Just observing with the curiosity and care of a child. Let your eyes linger on shape, on color, on texture, maybe on contrast. And then see how the light is interacting with it. What kind of shadows or movements can you see when you look really closely? Sometimes we don't think that it's moving until we look close enough. So stay with your one thing, one little small thing that you're focusing on. And now take a deep breath. And on the exhale, imagine what it would be like to shrink down and stand next to this object. What would it be like to shrink yourself down and stand next to this object? What would you see from that perspective? What would this tiny world look like? And in that imagination, let a sense of wonder arise just naturally. Don't have to force anything, just simply notice. Slipping into that state of being tiny, recognizing the mystery of the small. As we're shifting into a state of silence, continue to observe that small object or the area that you've chosen. Or you can move your attention to a few other tiny objects, tiny little details nearby. You might explore a patch of dirt, the bark of a tree, maybe the movement of a little bug. Let this be a slow, sacred kind of looking. A slow, sacred kind of observation. Remembering that you're not here to do a scientific study or find any meaning. You're simply here to witness. If your mind wanders, just gently return it to the sensations of seeing and of being. We'll be here together, just observing the small wonders for another 10 minutes. And you'll be hearing me hooting like an owl to bring your awareness back. And as you continue to foster your relationship with this tiny, small thing, maybe ask yourself, how long has that been here on Earth? How many thousands of years maybe has this being adjusted itself to survive? How many adjustments to seasons, decades, hundreds or thousands of years, rhythms of nature came there before this little thing arrived right here in this moment together with you? Ooh, 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 ooh. And then as we transition back from stillness, from connecting with the tiny little thing, take a moment to reflect. Maybe if you do have a journal, you can journal or just simply reflect in your mind. What did I explore closely today? What was it? And what surprised me about it? What surprised me about it? Again, no need to analyze. Just let your reflections be simple and honest. So, what did I explore? What surprised me? And how did slowing down change the way I saw it or myself? How did slowing down change the way I saw it or myself? And if you're writing, just kind of finish your sentence. You know that you can always continue on after as well. And then maybe hold that small thing you observed in your hand or in your awareness, whether it was a leaf or an insect or a patch of ground, and place one hand over your heart or gently on the earth beside you. Now that we have spent a little time in stillness, kind of check in with yourself once again. Has your internal weather shifted? What do you notice now? Emotionally, mentally, energetically? Now take a breath of gratitude for the tiny world that opened itself up to you. Just whisper a soft thank you, either out loud or silently. A little thank you to that tiny little being. This moment of acknowledgement opens us up and deepens the relationship that we have, the connection, the reciprocity with the living world. And then let this remind you, awe doesn't require big moments. It requires big presence. Awe doesn't require big moments. It requires big presence. So I want to finish with Mary Oliver's words and an invitation to enter into her world. This one is called My Work is Loving the World. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums. Here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing, since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude, to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug-up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. So my work, she says, is loving the world. And you yourself in it, because without you, it wouldn't be the same. So let's carry that reverence into the rest of our day. And may we find more wonder about the excitability of my dog. I don't know whether you can hear him behind me. Thank you so much for sitting still with me. And I wish one day my dog will do the same.